Hi, this is Deanne Stansberry, and I'm continuing my informative speech. One of the factors that adds to the cycle of poverty in Guatemala, which in turn leads to the malnourishment, is the education levels. One of the things that we found out when we were there is that when families are given a choice of sending, when they have a lot of children, of sending their boys or their girls to school, what they will do is they will choose to send the boys over the girls. And what this in turn leads to is when those girls grow up, they will be married to perhaps someone who is alcoholic and will have the education but does not use the income to support the family. And so the girls who have now grown up and do not have the education are left to fend for themselves and for their children. And in turn the children see this, and it just keeps cycling forward. And so they don't have other means to produce an income. One of the things, on a positive note, that Mayan Families does, Mayan Families is the organization that we worked with when we went on the mission trip to Guatemala in 2011, is they do help to provide an education. They have built several preschools, and they staff those preschools, and then they provide sponsorship. They find sponsors for the children, and they send them to the preschool, and then what this does is it teaches them Spanish, so when they get to the primary grades they're able to learn. Otherwise they would be left knowing just their Mayan dialect, which in this case is Cachical, in the Lake Atitlan area where we were. And so those children are given a chance to be able to learn once they get into primary school. And it also provides them at the preschool with at least one meal per day, often the only meal that they will have. Another thing that they do, another factor that they help to combat, is providing water filters to the families so that they can get the sanitary water to try to just help their overall health and help with the malnourishment. Mayan Families also has a trade school in carpentry that they have just recently started, and one of the things that I really liked about their programs is the way that they try to empower the women to learn a trade where they can earn some income. And one of the things that they have is a sewing program, and I thought I would just show you. This is a purse that was made by a woman who was sponsored to go through the Mayan Families sewing program. And they do the textile making, the backstrap weaving and the footloom weaving, and so they make all of the material. And then in the sewing program what they would learn is to do the embroidery work and to put this purse together. So that is for $70 a woman can be sponsored to go for over a 6-month period of time to these classes, and then when she's finished with the classes she will be provided with a sewing machine, and they also give them some classes in business skills so that then they have a marketable skill and not just the knowledge of how to sew, but they also help them to learn to manage their small business. So just to kind of recap, there's a 50% overall rate of malnourished children in Guatemala. In the rural indigenous areas, that rate is 80% of the children. And one of my sources that I used to find these numbers was an article called "The Scope of Malnutrition Epic in Guatemala," and it's at digitalcommons.liberty.edu. Another source of information would be www.mayanfamilies.org, and that is the nonprofit organization that we worked with. Thank you.